Hello everyone, welcome back my channel.
Kristin Cavallari slams Kardashian family as manipulative. Her podcast is titled, Let's Be Honest, so it makes sense that reality star Kristin Cavallari did not hold back in her evisceration of one of Hollywood's most famous families, the Kardashians, accusing them of being fame-hungry and inherently manipulative. In Cavallari's latest episode, she goes on a diatribe against the media and how infuriating it is to see false headlines written about herself, including ones that have linked her to the Kardashians. "I have always hated headlines," she remarked. "For 20 years, they have just annoyed the ass out of me, quite honestly. 'Cause they're all about clickbait. They're all about just grabbing people's attention. And they're as outrageous as humanly possible." Kim Kardashian admonished for wearing rosary in new scantily clad advertisement. "Nothing about you is holy." Cavallari decided to use her podcast as an opportunity to clear the air, addressing headlines written about her that were falsely reported. "I'm in my villain era," she admitted, speaking directly to the camera. "I do not care anymore. And you know what? Some people have really pissed me off over the years, and I've kind of stayed quiet," she said, adding that up until creating her podcast, she didn't really have a platform to tell her story. Cavallari began by reading from a 2011 article titled, Kristin Cavallari Denies Fling with Kourtney Kardashian's Man. "Okay, so obviously it's talking about Scott Disick," she said, referencing Kardashian's longtime boyfriend and father to 3 of her 4 children. "Okay, so here's what happened, guys," she started. "I had known Scott forever, probably since I was 18 or so. Just being in LA, we ran in the same group of friends, adding the used to hang out and party together, but nothing was ever romantic." Cavallari says Disick started dating Kardashian, which is how she met the latter. "Kourtney and I became really good friends, and I really loved Kourtney. We had so much fun together. I really liked her a lot," Cavallari insisted. Things changed when Disick and Kardashian broke up briefly in 2010. "I didn't know in those situations you had to choose a side, especially because I met Kourtney through Scott." Cavallari said around that time, she headed to Las Vegas for something business-related, and Disick was one of 3 guys who tagged along on the trip. "I was never alone with Scott. Not even for 1 FNG minute was I ever alone with Scott," she said, emphatically. The Hills star said she woke up to a tabloid saying she and Disick had hooked up in Vegas, which genuinely confused her. "How do they come up with this stuff?" she remembered thinking. "I was so pissed, obviously, too. Anytime you're accused of hooking up with someone when you didn't, like that just irks me, right? And I'm friends with Kourtney," Cavallari said of the situation. It was Cavallari and Disick's mutual friend who told the reality starlet that he knew, for a fact, that Disick had been the source of the tabloid. How it was worded, "Our mutual friend, Stu, and I both were like, oh my god, it's 100% Scott who did this, to get Kourtney back." "It worked," Cavallari said. When Cavallari eventually saw Kardashian, she remembered saying, "Kourtney, you know nothing happened. And what she said to me was, well, I don't know. I have sisters and I just would never put myself in that situation." Cavallari assumed that Kardashian was looking for an out in their friendship as the 2 stopped being friends. "I remember at the time, I was so pissed about this rumor, 'cause it wasn't FNG true. So I did an interview and I said, the Kardashians have had every opportunity to just simply say it's not true, but they haven't. And I think at the time Kim Kardashian was getting a divorce from Kris Humphries, and this was a great distraction. And they always have a motive." Cavallari took listeners to the present day, saying, "If you guys listened to the podcast the last month or so, I've been ripping on the FNG Kardashians, okay? Haven't held back." In a previous episode, Cavallari spoke about how everything the Kardashian family did recently was solely for fame. "You're so addicted to fame, you'll do anything to have people talk about you. Just FNG stay home and enjoy your life," she quipped. "Where are your morals and your values? Your mom's now," she said later. "Like what you're reading." Click here for more entertainment. And Cavallari then told listeners that Disick had conveniently messaged her, right as she was publicly bashing the family. "What interesting timing. That I get a DM on Instagram from Scott Fing Disick," Cavallari said. "And I'm going to read it to you guys because I don't give a flying F anymore. They F'd with me for these many years, and you don't get to just do this. And if this is not the most manipulative text I've ever gotten, well then I